Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fabulous. I'm excited for my guest today, Michel Rubini. He is a rock star of all rock stars. He's performed with so many of the biggest names in music, not just rock music, not just country music. I mean, all kinds of different music. So from names like Elvis and Frank Sinatra, and when you look at like the biggest names on the list, he's on there with them. He's performed with them. He's got a new book out called Life in the Key of Rubini, and he used to date the original Wonder Woman. So Linda Carter with the beautiful eyes.
She is so pretty.
And that's his ex-girlfriend. So I'm going to ask him about that too. I just think that's kind of cool. And some of the other ladies on the list of people he used to date, they're all in the book. So it's pretty cool. Going to be chatting with Michel Rubini later in the program today. You ready for a quote today, Heidi?
Ready.
Eventually, the nerds and geeks will have their day. Judge Apatow said that. Judd Apatow, not Judge. Judd Apatow, I think, was absolutely right. I remember reading this thing where they were talking about some of the sports figures and how much money they make, and then they showed like the top 3 tech companies and what the smart guys, how much they make, and they're like, nerds win.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's true. Nothing wrong with being a nerd. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Today is Wednesday. It is the 27th day of June. We only have a couple days left in this month, and then it'll be July. I cannot believe we are almost done with this month. National Orange Blossom Day, National PTSD Awareness Day, National Sunglasses Day, and National Parchment Day. I'm going to go back to one on here, PTSD. This is something that I know a couple of friends of mine who suffer with this, one who was in the military and another who's not. So it's one of those things where unless you have someone in your life with firsthand experience with that, you don't necessarily understand it. It's tough stuff. So again, today is National PTSD Awareness Day, and I think it's a good thing because until you're aware and you know a little more about it, it just doesn't make sense to you. So again, get out there and celebrate however you'd like to, maybe with your sunglasses on for National Sunglasses Day. That'd be a good way to do it. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All-American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-818-3967. 800-818-3967. That's 800-818-3967. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
John and Heidi.
Coming up, we've got your brain on drugs, but first, Kevin Smith is in the news. Now, some people right now know exactly who that is, and there's others that probably don't necessarily know who that is. If you remember, there was a movie a few years back, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. He's Silent Bob, and he's a writer and produces movies and does a lot of stuff with movies. Well, he recently lost 43 pounds after a recent heart attack and revealed that his cardiologist told him that the cannabis in his system likely saved his life because it altered the state of his mind. So he's saying if it weren't for the fact that he was smoking marijuana, he'd probably be dead right now. So there you go. I've got a link to that story if you want to read all about it. Congratulations to Kevin Smith on losing 43 pounds. I follow him on Twitter, by the way.
That's lovely.
I don't know why. I just noticed the other day that I was following him on Twitter. I'm like, oh, hey, I follow Kevin Smith on Twitter. And then I was like, what am I doing on Twitter? Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This time of year, there are many parties, weddings, cookouts, and other events that often include alcohol. If you're drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. The Addiction Hope and Helpline wants to help. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, there's a toll-free number you can call, 1-800-438-0380. That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline, 1-800-438-0380. 1-800-438-0380.
John
And this is your brain on drugs. A Florida man pulled over by the police on Thursday on suspicion of driving drunk continued to drink even after being stopped by a sheriff deputy. 48-year-old Daryl Royal Riedel allegedly raised a can of beer and chugged the suds after being pulled over. Minutes earlier, he sped off after being pulled over for the first time, leading police on a 2-mile car chase. He reportedly was pulled over for the first time due to a suspended license after officers spotted him in a Toyota Tundra. He allegedly told investigators he drove away from police because he was scared. He previously was convicted 3 times for DUIs between 2003 and 2010. Fourth one from this last is still pending.
Wow.
Faces numerous charges, including felony DUI, fleeing from a deputy, driving with a suspended license, and failure to submit to a breath test. So all of those things, not so great. And
He might as well finish the beer. He's already in trouble for
Yeah,
it.
well-
So why let it go to waste?
I suppose that's one way to look at it. But another way to look at it would be, I'm in trouble, so I'm going to try to get in as little amount of trouble as possible. If he hadn't done that, he wouldn't have made national news. We wouldn't be talking about this right now. It's all over the internet.
So, but
because
that's
of that.
he's not in any more trouble.
I
Notice
suppose.
one of his charges wasn't drink a beer in front of a cop.
I guess Heidi, you've got a point. All right, this has been your brain on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen. Game of Thrones star Kit Harington and Rose Leslie got married on Saturday in London. Afterwards, they had a wild party with friends. Not a fan of the show, never watched it. So it's not that I don't like it.
I don't know who they are.
No,
so.
nor do I. But I know that it's a popular show, and I know that there are people right now saying, "Are you serious? You guys need to watch that." Not going to happen.
No.
I have enough shows that we quote unquote have to watch already. And I had a friend that was telling me how awesome Shameless was. And I watched the first season, the first episode the other day, and I was like, not for me. So apparently it gets way better. They're like, no, it's way better. You got to watch like season 3, season 4. I'm like, I don't need more shows to watch. I just don't. Actress Brigitte Nielsen is 54 years old. You know, last Friday she gave birth to a baby.
I did know she
At
was
age
pregnant.
54.
I didn't know she had her baby,
Yeah,
but I
she
knew
had
she was pregnant.
A bouncing baby on Friday, and 54. That's unusual to have babies at that age. Lucasfilms is postponing all future Star Wars spin-offs after Solo did so poorly at the box office. Now, here's a funny thing. It didn't do bad compared to other movies. It just did bad compared to other Star Wars movies. But they're going to postpone all of those. And this is the worst news ever for Star Wars fans. They haven't felt this bad since prom night. So,
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry. I stole that off Facebook. Somebody commented that, and I thought that was kind of
Wow.
funny. I'm just reading what other people are saying. I'm not really heartless and mean, but I thought it was kind of funny. Again, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
John and Heidi.
Now, your scoop of the day, courtesy of 80sinthesand.com. Starbucks announced that they are closing 150 stores in an effort to control costs. Maybe they should just raise the price of their coffee. Oh, wait, no.
Yeah, I don't think that's possible.
I'm just teasing. And you know what? I've got some friends that love Starbucks. I love coffee. When we go and get coffee, I don't have a specific thing that I order. I'm like, I'll have coffee. What kind of coffee? Just a regular old cup of coffee. Can I leave room for cream? That's what I need. Just a little coffee and some cream. But there's some people who have like this real explicit order that it has to be done a certain way, and skim milk, and you got to stand on your left foot while you're pouring it.
Yeah,
and, I mean,
not like that.
I know. I'm just coffee. Coffee's good. Study by the Virginia Tech. I think it's just Virginia Tech. I don't think I needed the in there.
By the Virginia Tech.
The Virginia Tech. They found that mosquitoes can remember your scent, and they'll often pick on people who taste sweeter to them. So they remember almost like a Google review, and I have a 1-star Google review in the mosquitoes in our neighborhood. I hardly ever. I
get
almost
bit all the time.
I almost never get bit. And if I do, like maybe 2 mosquito bites a year, and those are just the ones going, I don't believe that Google review on him. I'm going to try him for myself. And they're like, yeah, he is pretty awful. 1-star review from me as well. There's a survey from a company called CoStar. I don't know what that is. The CoStar Group. They found that 31% of millennials are living in their mother's or father's home. 31%. That's a big number.
That is a very big number.
And I'm thinking right now of how many people we know, us included, who have a grown adult child living in their home. And I guess we are part of the 31%. An Ohio school teacher was sentenced to some jail time for having sexual relations with 3 students. It was a female teacher. She was sentenced to 30 days in jail. That just doesn't seem, for 3 students, that doesn't seem like a very big sentence, does it?
Not to me.
I just don't understand that. But again, I'm not involved in the case at all. I don't know what happened. I don't know what was. I don't know.
Apparently, the punishment is 10 days. So she got 10 days per student.
Apparently. I don't know how it goes. I got a link to the story if you want to read all about it. It's in our show notes at johnandheidishow.com. Let's move over to this one. A Michigan woman who lied about being raped in college was sentenced to 45 days in prison last Wednesday.
Good.
So, and I think that, but here's the thing that I have a problem with. I don't know if the people who she accused were charged. If they were, she should get whatever sentence they were going to have. Because I think that's really sad when that happens. Don't ever lie about something like that. I mean, there are victims, and I know victims who've been through traumatic things, and for somebody to make light of that and just pretend, oh, yeah, that's what happened to me, when it didn't, I mean, there should be a very strong punishment. But 45 days, again, it doesn't seem like enough.
It doesn't seem like enough, but I'm glad they're at least punishing.
Absolutely.
Making examples of these women that are doing these kinds of things.
And it's not just women.
Horrible.
Men could do that, too. It's just anybody could do that. A survey from AAA, you know who that is, right?
Yes.
What do the AAAs stand for? Do you know? I don't know. But it's the travel company,
Automotive,
American
I don't know.
Automotive
Association.
that could. Let's go with that. Let's pretend like we knew that. Winging it from the hip here today, people. Well, they did a survey, and they predicted that 47 million people will travel for the 4th of July holiday. So 47 million people on the road. And it always seems interesting to me that it's about that time that gas prices seem to go up.
We don't have any plans for...
Oh, no, that'll be kind of nice. And one last thing here. A video has gone viral of a woman drinking her dog's urine.
Ew.
Because she said it cleans up the acne on her face.
Ew.
What the what? Who told
How
you
on
that?
earth would you have even
I
discovered
don't
that
know.
to begin
Was
with?
it-
That's disgusting.
And if you saw that online and you said, I'm going to try it, don't do that. I'm sure there's something else, anything else that you could do besides that. I mean, I'd rather just have a little bit of acne than that. Not a good thing. I've got a link to that story and all these other silly things we talked about in the show notes for this Wednesday at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
Do you have ideas for t-shirt designs, but you don't have a clue how to print them? Or maybe you'd like to have t-shirts and coffee mugs available to buy online with your business logo printed on them. There's a website that makes it easy. We set ours up in about 10 minutes. There's no sign-up fee, no minimum orders, no monthly fees. It's just a really easy way to put some cool items online for sale, and you get paid every time somebody buys them. You don't have to print or ship anything. Just sign up, upload your designs, and then let people know where they can get your cool stuff. More details available at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We got a guest right now, Michel Rubini, who has a new book coming out. It's actually just came out, and it's Life in the Key of Rubini. Michel, you've had a chance to work with some amazing artists along the way. I'm looking at the list here. Johnny Cash, Jackson 5, Michael Jackson, The Turtles, Barbra Streisand, Beach Boys. Now, if anybody listening doesn't know at least some of those names, they've been living under a rock, haven't they?
I would think so, yes.
And now, how did you get interested in the music business, and how did this all get started for you?
Well, originally, I was born into a musical family. My father was a world-famous concert violinist back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and so from the time I was in the crib, I was listening to him play his violin, and I started playing piano when I was about 3.5 years old.
That is amazing.
There was really never any choice for me. I was going into the family business, whether I liked it or not.
Now, the thing that's cool, there are a lot of people who get into the music business, but they don't always get the opportunities that you had. Like, again, I'm looking at the list here. Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra. It just goes on and on and on. What was it like for you as a musician to have the opportunity to play with these amazing, talented artists that are superstars?
Every time I played with someone new, when I did my first session for Frank Sinatra, or my first session for Loggins and Messina, or my first, session for the Jackson 5, whatever it was always a thrill. And I was just thrilled that I was able to have the opportunity to do it. So it was always exciting. It was wonderful.
Now the thing that's cool is you had this opportunity to play music. And again, coming from a musical family, is there something that if maybe the music thing hadn't worked out, is there something else you always thought, boy, I always wish I had the chance to do this? What would that have been?
Well, when I was a little kid, I saw a movie about submariners and scuba divers who would who would be in the water, and the rubber boat would come by real fast, and they'd stick their arms out, and they would haul the divers into the boat. And I thought, wow, that would be cool. I'd love to be a Navy diver. But of course, that never was going to come to pass.
Well, I think that the world is happier that you had the chance to do what you had the chance to do, because the music that you have had a chance to put out is amazing. Now, something that I think is really interesting is the musical family that you came from. You say it's kind of a dysfunctional family as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, as many, show business families are. My family, I guess, wasn't any different. My father was a real ladies' man, and I think the polite word for it is philanderer. And he did a lot of philandering. And my mother wasn't particularly happy about that. One of the incidents that my parents got divorced when I was 13. One of the incidents that led up to that was the fact that he was in Japan touring there, and he met the daughter, the princess of the Emperor of Japan. And she took a liking to him, and he was going around Tokyo in a royal limousine, and it got into the Hollywood, the newspapers and the gossip columns. And my mother read that, and when she read that, that was just calling it quits right there. My mother, on the other hand, who had also been an actress, and she knew everybody in Hollywood. She sort of retired when she had me, when she was pregnant with me, and didn't go back to it. But she was an alcoholic, and of course I didn't know that until many years later. But her alcoholism really got the better of her, and my parents were divorced because of those two things: my father's playing around and my mother's alcoholism, which he couldn't stand because he was a teetotaler. And so when I was 13, they parted for good.
Again, visiting right now with Michel Rubini, and the book that he just put out is called Life in the Key of Rubini, a Hollywood child prodigy and his wild adventures in crime, music, Sinatra, and Wonder Woman. So we absolutely positively have to talk about Linda Carter. You guys dated on and off for how long? It was quite a while, wasn't it?
That's relative, but it was 2 or 3 years, even possibly 4. I don't remember exactly. But I met Linda when she was the reigning Miss World USA, and I believe that was 1972. And I was Sonny and Cher's musical director at that time, and we were playing Vegas at the Sahara Hotel, and she was in Vegas at that time doing one of her duties as Miss World USA. I believe she was there to cut the ribbon ceremony for one of Del. And she came to a performance and was sitting in the audience. And at the end of the show, she wanted to meet Sonny and Cher. So the managers brought her back, of course, and she was chatting with them when I walked into Sonny and Cher's dressing room, which I always do between shows. Just to ask Sonny and Cher, like, were they happy with the band? Was everything okay? Were there any changes that they wanted to make for the next show? And so at that moment, she was standing there with Sonny and Cher, and so Sonny introduced me, and she put out her hand, and I looked at her, and I walked up to her and shook her hand, and she looked at me, and I just melted. I just thought to myself, my God, this is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. And so there was an instant attraction. I mean, the hairs on the back of my head just stood up when she touched me, you know. And lo and behold, there must have been something going on with her too. She was a singer besides everything else. And as we say, chick singers love, piano players. The two go together. So I don't know if she had some ulterior motive, but she had made her living as a singer before she became Miss World USA, and evidently she appreciated, the work that I had done for Sonny and Cher, and she complimented me on my arrangements and stuff like that. And then when it came time to go, she had to leave, and we had to start getting ready for our next show. And she asked me if I would escort her back to her room.
Ooh.
She didn't want to walk. She said she didn't want to walk alone, from the dressing room out through the casino and to her room that she had in the hotel. So I of course volunteered, and she took my arm, and I walked her to her room, where by the time we got there, we just didn't want to say good night. But of course, I had to. I had a show to do, and she had to go in and get ready for the next day. So, we kissed on a little peck on the cheek, and said, well, we can get together tomorrow, and it'll be fun. And then it was a real romantic moment. I just didn't want to tear myself away, and evidently she sort of felt the same. And so that little kiss on the cheek became something quite more, like right out of a movie.
That's really cool.
And then the game was on. After that, it was all. For me, I was lost. I was just sunk.
Sir, you have lived a fascinating life, and I can see why it was time to put a book together, The Life in the Key of Rubini. It's available right now, and Michel Rubini has been our guest. Thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us.
Thank you so much. It's been fun talking to you.
And again, the book is available right now. I have a link to it. You can find that on our show notes page at johnandheidishow.com.
If you're a business owner, you should consider using radio. Radio is a powerful tool. Over 90% of us listen to the radio each week. Imagine if this ad was talking about your business, helping you hit your goals. We can help. We can also create a fun jingle, too, to get people singing your song. When you put words to music, they're 9 times more memorable, and that makes radio work even better. Learn more at RadioReallyWorks.com. Radio jingles to help you get better results with the money you're already spending. RadioReallyWorks.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Somebody who shoes horses is called a farrier. Farrier. Farrier.
I did not know that.
Yeah, farrier. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A Macintosh is an item of clothing, and it was named after its Scottish inventor, Mackintosh. I don't know what that is, a Macintosh.
I don't either.
I wonder if that's like a kilt kind of thing.
Well, I have no idea.
Scottish. I don't know. And one last thing here. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A falchion, Falchion, is a kind of sword. Falchion.
Okay.
Wow, we learned some stuff today.
We learned some stuff. Yes, we did.
I'm going to throw one more in here because this kind of goes along with the other stuff that we just learned about. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Dictionary is another word for lexicon. Lexicon is another word for dictionary. I didn't know that. Did you know that's what a lexicon was?
No.
It is a dictionary. Now you know.
There you go.
I think a lexicon sounds a lot smarter than a dictionary. I'm going to go look that up in the lexicon and see what I come up with.
Sounds like a car.
It does?
Lexicon.
Lexicon? Like a Ford Lexicon.
Yeah, it does.
It's got a V8. I don't know why I even think that, but we're going to move on. This has been a weird, random string of fun facts. Thanks for listening.
If you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
Time now for the grandiloquent word of the day. You ready for our word today, Heidi?
Ready.
Sardoodledom. 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 What do you think sardoodledom means?
Is it sarcastic doodles?
Oh, that would be nice. No, that's not what it is, though. But let's take a listen. Maybe you're closer than you think. A play with an overwritten and melodramatic plot. So when something is like completely overdone, like that was way too much.
Okay.
Or mechanically contrived plot structure and stereotyped or unrealistic characterization in drama. Also, well-made works of drama that have trivial, insignificant, or morally objectionable plots. So that would be sardoodledom. Sardoodledom. Today's grandiloquent word. I don't think I'll have this one like knitted onto a coaster or anything. I've got no future use for this word. I'm going to forget it as soon as I say this has been our grandiloquent word for today.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
Now some weird news for you on a Wednesday. A woman was arrested after damaging equipment during a fit of rage at a Grand Rapids, Michigan fitness center. Take a listen to this. Happened about 1:30 in the morning on the 11th of June at a Planet Fitness. The incident was caught on a cell phone video. A 20-year-old woman is seen arguing with employees, and she throws a computer monitor, and she damaged a phone. The police say that she is charged with malicious destruction of property, $200 to $1,000 fine. So I don't know why there's such a variance there.
Does it say what she was mad about?
They say the employee who appeared to have been assaulted chooses not to press charges. Planet Fitness, though, is pressing charges for the destruction of their property. It doesn't say in this story. Maybe if you click the link, I'm not going to. But I've got a link in our show notes that has more details. I'm not going to click to see what she did. But maybe it was roid rage.
I would press charges.
I think she was on steroids. Because that's one of the things that's crazy. There are people who take like growth hormone. I don't know what it's called. I'm not a fitness person, so I don't know what they're called. But they'll take things that'll alter the way their body reacts to lifting weights. And I know that if there's like a lot of testosterone in there, you can have issues. Do you remember when you and I did a little testosterone thing and I boosted my testosterone for the first time in like 20 years?
I do. You were freaking out on
It took me a bit to
everybody.
get used to it. And I had a poor telemarketer that called me that week. It wouldn't take no for an answer. And I was so mean on the phone. Heidi walked in the other room. She's like, "You gonna be okay?" I was like, "I'm sorry." She wouldn't take no for an answer. I was trying to be polite. She wouldn't listen to me. She's like, "Why don't you just calm down there, Mr. Testosterone Boy?" Everything's back in check now. But this has been some weird news for a Wednesday. Now, your moment of duh. A would-be Pennsylvania car thief whose inability to make a three-point turn forced him into quitting the mission is the moment of duh candidate for today. Police say a man climbed into an unlocked pickup truck and tried to drive off, but he got stuck between cars, and he attempted to turn the vehicle around after several attempts that led him to just hitting multiple parked cars.
Oh, my gosh.
He finally just got out and walked away. The incident was captured on a surveillance video. Police are looking for the man, so he didn't know how to turn it around. Reminds me of Austin Powers. I don't know which one of the Austin Powers movies. Remember where he was driving that thing and he was like, bzz, 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 bzz.
Yeah.
He was trying to turn it around. That, I think, was kind of funny. It was a funny scene in a movie that wasn't necessarily hilarious, but that was one of the funny scenes. And I can only imagine this guy trying to be, you're stealing his truck.
Right, you need to
You're
get
trying
away
be
quickly.
Stealthy like, and you're smashing into vehicles. Okay, I'm going to walk away before I get arrested. Trust me, they'll catch you. You will get arrested. This has been today's Moment of Duh.
This time of year, there are many parties, weddings, cookouts, and other events that often include alcohol. If you're drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. The Addiction Hope and Helpline wants to help. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, there's a toll-free number you can call, 1-800-438-0380. That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline, 1-800-438-0380, 1-800-438-0380.
Time now for fake news or Florida. You ready, Heidi?
I am ready.
All right, you tell me if you think this is something that really, truly happened, or if you think this is a bunch of flubbery, something we made up. Fake news or Florida? A Jacksonville, Florida man was found to have 247 stolen bicycles in his backyard and garage. Fake news or Florida?
Fake news.
Ah, dang it. It is fake news. How did you guess that?
Because it was a very specific number.
I know. That's why I thought you would figure that it was for real. If I would have said 250, that would have been fake news. Who would have that? But I thought for sure that was going to trick you.
I think it would have said over 200 in the newspaper.
I thought for sure by having a random number that would actually help. Okay, tell me this. Fake news or Florida? A Florida man arrested for DUI after he chugged a can of beer at a police stop. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
That's true. We actually just read that story earlier in this program. So I should have probably used this first and then maybe read that another day. Oh, dang it. Well, I'm still going to use it. It's still that story's listed twice now. So there you go. We've got a link to that in our show notes if you want to read all about it. And you'll find that it's under Wednesday for today. It's this Wednesday, the 27th day of June at johnandheidishow.com. This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of Odiva. Odiva is a monthly subscription service just for the ladies. All the details at radiosavings.com. Researchers have finally created simple, eco-friendly machine that recycles used diapers. Now, this is something that we don't necessarily have a use for because we don't have kids with diapers. As a matter of fact, earlier this week, our youngest turned 204 months old. So I had to do the math. She's 17. But I figured if I said 204 months, I wouldn't feel so old. Actually, that's kind of backfiring.
It's almost worse.
Yeah. Sounds like she's, about to have kids of her own, but she's not quite there. Anyway, researchers have finally created a simple, eco-friendly machine that recycles used diapers. Millions of diapers end up in landfills every year. Researchers have been scrambling to find an efficient way to recycle these wasteful products. Finally, a team of scientists have found an easy solution. Researchers in Taiwan created a user-friendly machine that can turn 220 pounds of dirty diapers into clean raw materials in 1 single hour. The team is now working on developing their prototype into a larger facility that could recycle over 10 tons of dirty diapers in a single day. This machine sanitizes the soiled diapers on site. Then, through a specialized process called stratification, the machine separates and salvages all the reusable materials in the product, like the fluff and the pulp, all of that stuff. The raw materials can then be broken down and taken to a recycling center where they can be reused to make things like cardboard, paper, absorbent pads, and more diapers. Reusing these materials is estimated to save about 864,000 trees every year. The machine also would use less water than the average toilet. So current dirty diapers make up about 3 to 5% of the world's garbage. So this is a thing that's going to help take on and tackle that problem. It's a neat idea.
Well, that's amazing. So how do you get them to them? Are you supposed to throw diapers now in your recycling?
No, you would have a separate thing for that. And they show on here a little container. We had, what was that thing? Diaper Genie? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
We had this little thing that you would...
ridiculous.
No, it was a good idea, but here's the problem. Then I suppose you're probably supposed to clean it out more often than I did, because I would stuff these dirty diapers, and I was like, where do these things go?
Where do they go?
I opened it one day, and I about died. It was a big, long, it was like Link sausages, but it was just dirty diapers all tied in there, and they did not smell good. I had to set the thing outside. I was like, oh man,
John.
You come home, I'm laying on the sofa. It was terrible. It was awful. I opened the Diaper Genie. I thought I was going to die. It was a bad day. But it's something like that where you'll put them in a special package that you send directly to these people.
Cool.
So it's neat. It's pretty cool stuff. I've got a link to the story if you want to know all about it. It's in our show notes under Good News for today on the John and Heidi Show website, johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.